Welcome to the Super Channel, the official second channel of SoupRS, aka me Soup, or Stefan, or as Framed calls me, Steifun. What are your burning questions about Gielinor Games Season 4? Is there anything about the season in general you want to know about? Maybe a specific moment you want clarification on? Pretty much anything you want to know, I'll try to answer in videos like this. For the next few months, this channel will primarily serve as a behind-the-scenes channel for GG. I'll be doing my own personal reviews on every episode, and in those episodes, I'll gather up all the questions that people asked about things that happened and answer them. I'll also just give my thoughts on things that I think went really well during the season, things that I think went fine, and some things that I wish hadn't have happened or would have gone differently. There's a plethora of videos I've planned for the next few months, so please make sure to subscribe, drop a like, leave your comments, and you can expect the videos to start dropping very soon. Don't forget that those episode reviews do go up on my Patreon at patreon.com/SoupRS, probably like a week or maybe more, maybe less before they go live on this channel, so if you'd like to see them early, check out the Patreon. For the rest of this video, I'm just going to answer a couple of burning questions that I see asked quite a bit on Twitter and on YouTube comments and stuff that I thought I would be appropriate to kind of answer in this video as the first Q&A in a sense. I'll save the better and the spicier answers for some of the questions I see for future videos that I can take a bit more time to answer, but these are kind of just the questions that I get that I see asked quite a bit throughout the season that I think are appropriate to answer in this video. So one of the biggest ones I see is, where is the chamber area? Where is the tribunal section filmed? Where can I get to that in game? That can be found at this cave entrance in southeast Karazi jungle in Karamja. If you guys remember, there's a quest called Dragon Slayer 2, and in this quest, you don't spend a long time here, but there's a huge section in here if you go down this cave. And it's just an entire maze. I mean, it is massive. It doesn't show up on the map. I mean, I can do an instance map. There we go. But yeah, you can see this entire maze here. And it goes really, really deep. And as soon as I entered into this cave and looked at it, I was like, holy moly, this is the spot to film the chamber, the tribunal area. Because, as you guys know, the theme of the season is purple. The color scheme, it's purple. It's kind of white, dark black, gray, and this just has all those elements. I was kind of going for a neon vibe for the season, and this place fit exactly that. So when I first started recording some of the scenes in here, it looks really, really cool. There's a Cape of Skulls there. I just didn't even notice that. It's still just sitting there. I thought it looked amazing, but it looked a bit too bright for me. It didn't look really that dark, that ominous. I like decisions made with mysterious music playing in the background in a place that's kind of like dark and ominous and tense and creepy a little bit. And I thought that this place needed to be, not creepy, but this place just yeah, dark and ominous and mysterious, I think are the right words to use for that. This area needed to be darker, and I was thinking to myself, I could just fix that with some effects, you know, on my editing program, but then I thought to myself, why not just use the 117 HD plugin on RuneLight? It does it for me. So I turned it on, adjusted some settings, and I ended up at this. So just by turning on that plugin, it automatically puts the shadows around the outside. It makes the purple glow way more. It's darker, it's more mysterious, it's more ominous. Exactly how I liked it. And I was like, okay, this is just way, way better. And it's the only time I've ever used the RuneLight HD plugin, 117 HD, to beautify, we'll put it that way, the area. I thought it looked really, really good. I'm not a fan of how it looks on the surface, but for this particular scene, I thought it worked really, really well. So this place that you're looking at actually might look kind of empty to you guys too right now, because, well, it's missing a lot of the stuff that made this the chamber, that made this the tribunal room. And that's because using the creator kit plugin, which I will go way more in depth in a future video, I was able to load in something called a JSON file, which has a bunch of saved RuneScape assets on it, which make up the tribunal room. So if I load that into the to the area right now, oops, there we go. It just loads in. We've got a couple of player models here. This is an episode 1 scene, actually. We got Bodhi settled in Torvesta. Big throwback happening on this scene right here. But yeah, as you guys can see, the pedestals were added. These were just kind of placed so that there was 3 of them here. And as you guys know, during the season, the players who were in the tribunal would stand in front of them and talk to each other. The fires on the outside are never originally here. These were also added by me in the Creator Kit plugin, and we just kind of have them placed evenly throughout to kind of, again, just add that, I don't know, just that tense look, which I just really like. The fires were originally orange and yellow, right? Just how fires usually look. So we actually recolored them, which you can do using the Creator Kit plugin. You can recolor stuff in the game, and we made the fires purple, which again, just matched the vibe of the room really, really well. So yeah, the pedestals here, along with just this floating thing right here, and the fires and the walls being really cool. Again, very, very neat. And yeah, just thought it looked really, really cool. And the players would then, kind of come over here. As you didn't know, I can kind of move them and they turn and face each other and stuff like that. So yeah, there's the secret behind the chamber. I'll go more in depth into this area and kind of the breakdown of some of the other things. But for now, if you guys are curious behind the tribunal, the chamber area, here you go. This is the secret behind it. Who were the editors of Gielinor Games Season 4? That's a question I get asked quite a bit by everybody. They're like, do you have a production team? Did you have an editing team? The main answer is just I was the main full-time editor for the show. So all of the episodes you saw were edited by me. All the music, the challenges, most of the bannings, a lot of the B-roll, I just did it all by myself. However, I did have an incredibly helpful, I'm not going to call her an assistant because she's more than that, but her name is Allie. We'll leave a link to her Twitter and her YouTube in the description. She was an angel because she helped film a lot of the standing B-roll shots, moving B-roll shots that you guys see at the intro, in the middle, and the outro of a lot of the episodes. So pretty much every time there's a scene where there's a B-roll scene where all the players are just standing, right, kind of just staring at me as we discuss what the challenge is, who's getting voted into the banning. She was the main person behind recording a lot of those. And she also raw edited, so she did the rough drafts for a couple of the bannings. By raw edited, I mean she kind of she placed a lot of the clips in order with the audio and the video and did kind of the entire raw version of it. And then sent it to me where I would polish it up and tidy it up with music and B-roll and graphics and stuff. So she was the raw editor behind the Eevescape and Framed banning. She did that with the Tileman banning between Zoe and Roydy. And she also helped with a couple other things here and there. So yeah, big shout out to her. She was very, very helpful. But in terms of like the music, right, and the B-roll during the challenges and just the challenge edits themselves, the audio placements on everything, that was all done by me. A lot of work. However, like I said, I have a lot of trust issues with this show, and I really only trust myself to kind of place things how I think they should be placed. So yes, that is the I'll go more in depth in that in a future video, most likely on the main channel, maybe even on this channel as well. If you guys are editors or are curious about my Adobe Premiere workflow and timeline and if you want to see something like that, let me know, because I'd love to share it. I think the editing process, as grindy and as tough and as frustrating as it can be, I think it's a really fulfilling, satisfying process. So I'd love to share that with anybody if you guys are potentially interested. One of the most asked questions I saw throughout the season was, Soup, how are the competitors reacting to the updated prize pool every week if this has already been filmed? Are you guys filming week to week? Are they faking the reactions? How does that work? So I'm going to set this straight right now just so you guys understand how it works, because this one got to me so many times. Pretty much what we did was we filmed the season. The season was filmed from August of 2023 until the first week of January in 2024. So it was pretty much a 6-month filming process. It took a long time to film the season. It's really hard to get everybody's schedules to line up to have a 3-4 hour window to film an episode. It takes a long time. So as you guys know, or as you guys can see, it's a long process before we can get to the post-production, the editing phase, which takes even longer. So yeah, the filming phase itself takes a long time. Now, when the episodes are filmed, there is one time where I ask for a reaction when we all meet up, and that is, hey guys, welcome to episode 4. Welcome, to your third challenge on Gielinor Games Season 4. And that's when you guys hear them all go, yay, woo, there's clapping, right? As usual, I'm gonna need you guys to clap and get excited when I say welcome to GG. So let's do that now. Welcome back, everyone, to your third challenge on Gielinor Games Season 4.
Yeah.
Nice.
Third one, still here.
Perfect. That is the only reaction I ask for them. So anytime you hear in the episode where I say, hey guys, the new prize pool is 60 trillion GP, and you guys hear them go, whoa, like, yeah, woo, you hear the classic, Bodhi, say less, right? West Ham goes, oh my God, right? Frame goes, yay, like all this stuff. Those were not actual reactions from them reacting to the prize pool. That was them reacting to random stuff throughout the season. So Bodhi's say less happened in something in episode 9. I think West Ham's oh my God happened in like episode 3. Zoe has a line in there that was in like episode 6. So all I would do was just take that audio clip, and I would take all the other audio clips of that, and anybody who sounded remotely excited or sounded like they were reacting to something, and then I would just place them on top of one another in the timeline on my editing program, Adobe Premiere. And then when I play it all, it sounds like they're all reacting at the same time to the updated prize pool. So it's just billion. Those were all just audio reaction clips grabbed after the fact. I'm sorry if that ruins anything for anybody, but that's how it was done. Because as you guys know, the way the prize pool works for Gielinor Games is when the season comes out, that's when the prize pool is collected, right? Because that's the best way for me to promote donating to the prize pool, is you can actively donate as the season's going on for a chance to get on the leaderboards, for a chance to donate to the biggest prize pool in RuneScape history. I wouldn't be able to do that as we're filming. Instead, I have to do it as the episodes come out. So the reason the reactions aren't, in a sense, live is because, well, we couldn't film them live when we were filming. Nobody knew what the prize pool was going to be. The only person who knew, like, even to the competitors who were in the season and who watched the episodes during the season, even they don't know what the final prize pool is going to be. They find it out at the same time as you guys. It's literally the day of the final episode as they find out exactly what it's going to be, because again, I don't have it finalized until a few days before the final episode. So yeah, they all are going to find out alongside you, which is pretty funny. I saw so many people just being like, oh, well, Foe or Roydy definitely won the season because the Deadman Mode All-Stars prize pool was 35 bill, so they must have put it in there. It's genuinely not even possible because both of them, the prize pool hasn't even been paid out. It's still being collected, so that wouldn't even have been possible. So yeah, if you guys have any more questions about that process or how the prize pool collecting works, I'll try to answer it more in depth in a future video. But for now, that's hopefully I rambled a bit about that one because that one is asked quite a bit. But yeah, that's how it works. I'm not going to get too much into my thoughts on certain challenges and my reactions on how to make them better, or if I thought they were good or bad or just any of that until I get to the actual episode reviews, which are coming out later this month. But I will answer one question here about hide and seek. Hide and seek has grown to be arguably the most popular challenge of any single challenge we've done. GeoGuessr is just, people love hide and seek, and I think it's because the most important thing is you guys can play along at home. A picture pops up on screen. You can try to figure it out for yourself. And one thing I've noticed and learned is that anytime there's a challenge or an elimination where the viewers can play along at home, it is automatically a popular one. I think that, and I leaned a lot towards that this season, as you may have seen. And again, I'll explain way more of this in a future video, but for now I just want to kind of harp on it a little bit. But hide and seek is popular because it's just fun. Everybody loves hide and seek. Maybe all the competitors don't love it because it is a stressful, hard challenge, but for the viewers, I can tell the majority of people really do like it. And one question I get asked about it, there's not a lot of criticisms of it. It's a pretty fair challenge, I would say. One thing people were a big fan of this season, was kind of like how it evolved into okay, yeah, here's the spot, but what do you need, or how do you get there, and what do you need to get there? So as you guys know, this season was, yeah, you needed a rope, right, to get to the waterfall hiding spot in episode 4. You needed a light source to get to the Temple of Ikov spot, right? You needed a raw chicken to get to the evil chicken lair spot. So that was kind of a nice little evolution of the game, which added a bit of spice to it. Now, I get a couple comments here and there being like, these locations are way too easy. Why don't you give them a really hard location? Why don't you just zoom in on a rock, right? Like, why don't you just do this, right, and just zoom in on, boom, this is the location. Now, on one hand, I agree that harder locations would be fun. It is fun seeing them have to really, really think hard about where it is and have to really put their, game knowledge to the test about these locations. But I would counter that with, I really like it when people find out the locations fairly quickly. And that's because, you know what it leads to? An all-out race right at the start of how to get there first or how to get there the fastest. And I think that's way more exciting than 20 people or however many people are competing, just kind of running around, not finding anything. One of my least favorite things to edit on RuneScape for GeoGuessr or for Gielinor Games is a hide and seek round where for 8 minutes, nobody can find the location because all it is them running around and being like, is it this? Nope, it's not that. Is it this? Nope, it's not that. And that's really hard to make exciting. And to me, it is a little bit boring. And I don't want hide and seek to be boring. So to me, the best kind of solution for that is giving them a challenging one, but one that they probably should know given that they're all mainly full-time content creators and play this game quite a bit. So as you guys all know, I personally have thought of locations that I thought were super difficult, but these guys are all nerds and can figure out the locations so quickly that I never am able to trick them all at once. Somebody always manages to figure it out right away. So I just kind of decided this season, you know what? I'll give them tricky locations. I'll give them kind of like, oh, what is that? But locations that I think most of them can probably figure out within 30 seconds to 45 seconds, maybe a little bit longer, a little bit less. And then what that leads to, again, what I mentioned earlier, is then that really exhilarating, thrilling race to who can get to me first. And that's what I like to edit. I love to edit those racing scenes and with some intense music playing in the background. Of teams racing one another. You have these B-roll shots of just a clump of people trying to get to me first. And then you had the twist this season of needing an item to get to me as well. I like it personally when people figure out the locations fairly quickly, and then there's that intense race to find me first. So I'll get more into that during the Gielinor Games Hide and Seek episode and episode 4 review, which will come out, like I said, on this channel later this month. But for now, that's kind of my thoughts on Hide and Seek, and I'm curious of what you guys think of my thoughts on that. Hopefully, maybe for you guys who were thinking that the locations need to be harder, maybe you understand my point of view a little bit better now. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it. I look forward to seeing all of your comments and getting really stuck into some GG4 lore. That's coming your way very soon. Peace! And do not forget to subscribe. Thanks.